Hi everyone, today we have a new video review, and as you can see this is a fresh truck model from Miniart. It is made in 1/35 scale, and what we get here it's a German 3 tons troop carrier. So it's a so-called Radkasten normal type, and as you can see on the box art we have some soldiers and even the driver depicted. So for me it's an interesting question if the figurines will be included, but I can bet they are probably not. Nevertheless, the truck itself is interesting as the part of diorama, especially if you will manage to get all of the figurines just like on the box art. It will be even more impressive looking project. And what I have here on the table, that's the final shape of this release. It means you will be able to get the same stuff what you will see in this video review if you order it from any good model shop. And as far as I know, Max already has it, and you can get it together with some other novelties from Miniart there. So first of all, the box size is typical for this brand. Here is comparison with my hand. We have also quite nice box art here. The kit number is written in that corner. It's 35453. Here on the side you can also see the address of the manufacturer, some safety advices, and on the opposite side you will find 5 marking options as well as the small note that decals are coming from cartograph. So do not worry, we will talk more about the camouflages or marking options when we will be checking the assembly manual. Now what you can see is what is hidden inside this box. So as you can see, all frames are sealed into one plastic bag, and I need to cut through it in order to open it. And in the meantime I can also remind you that I reviewed the previous versions of this truck as well, and you can find the videos on the same YouTube channel obviously. And these were quite nice kits. So here it's more of a question which parts are new, how this truck is modified to be the troop carrier, and also what new bonuses we get inside, if any. So just give me a second to remove this plastic sprues out of the bag. It's a bit of a tight fitment because the bag was sealed, so that's why it's not as easy to take out the frames, but it's doable. So first we start with 2 identical plastic sprues. This is the frame F, and I will show you only one because they carry the same set of parts. And here you'll find some suspension parts as well as some minor elements for the chassis. So here you can see, for example, those bars and also leaf springs. Everything looks fine, so it's just a matter of getting those parts all together and also checking the alignment in the meantime. Next we continue with the new parts. I suppose these ones will be used actually to modify the truck to be suitable to carry personnel in the rear section. So as you can see here we get the large seats. And also we get the special frames which are used for the tarpaulin, but as far as I can see the tarpaulin is not provided here, so it will be just the frames. And in case you would like to make a covered version, you'll have to make it with your own hands and tools. It's not a difficult thing actually, and sometimes modelers manage to get a bit more convincing finish even with such things. Next we continue with the wooden panels. I'm not sure where this will go, so we will have to check the assembly manual, but overall they look quite nice. It's always welcome to have them molded together with the metal frame, and here from the opposite side again you can see that they're also nicely detailed, so it's not like one side which is visible features some details and another one because nothing is visible is just plain. Next we have the sprue AC or AD actually, and here we get the wheel tires. So these are plastic wheel tires, and this is a really great thing because these parts actually allow you to get the more features, because as you can see we have also some pre-molded details on the tire walls, and of course such things are easier to paint and weather on the finished model, so definitely a good thing to have, just like the plastic tracks for example in the tanks. So that's why take your time trying to get the more or less convincing finish, and you will be rewarded with a good looking result. Next we continue with the bigger plastic sprue. So here we have the sprue JB, and this one is dedicated to various front cap panels. So I will just zoom out a bit, and here you can see what we have. So we have the front grille, separate doors, and also here some parts for the bonnet area or section, and here we have the dashboard, for example. And note that the grill, it's actually the throughout cutouts, and we also have the manufacturer logo, which is quite cool because you get it molded in plastic. You don't have to use the PE parts. For some modelers it will be actually good news because they won't have to deal with PE parts, and I think Miniart still gives you the PE version or option as well, so in case you are not satisfied with what you saw before, you can also add the metal part. Next, we also have the engine included, so in 1/35 scale this is quite important thing, and it might be handy for some diorama ideas because you will be able to open the bonnet and show what is under the bonnet. It won't be empty, and some manufacturers are actually offering this as the separate bonus which you have to buy, but here it is in the standard package, and that's really good. Next, we have two thin plastic sprues. So these ones again are dedicated to the suspension and drivetrain parts. Nothing special, I would say. These are just some minor elements, and kind of shows that you should not underestimate the kit because it's 1/35 scale. There are a lot of small pieces, and you will have to deal with them, and there are no spare parts as well. Here we also get the jerry cans. So they will be placed somewhere on the truck, and it's always a good thing to have because you can add a bit of the color variety with help of these items. Next, we also have another type of the front grille and radiator, and also the oil sump. So everything looks quite nice. As you can see, we have the logo here pre-molded and here no logo. And if I flip over this plastic sprue here, we have also some guiding elements. So assembly process should be easy. And next we continue with the thin plastic sprue with various machine guns and also some equipment or tools which will be installed for this personal carrier version. Next we have the thin plastic sprue with the Pioneer tools. What is interesting here is that some tools are given in two versions, as you can notice, so with the clamps pre-molded or without the clamps, and I guess that's done because this way because we get the PE clamps, and you can also replicate some tools actually removed from the truck, so it's also useful for diorama ideas. Next we have the front cap parts. So here you have the roof panel which is molded together with the windscreen. This is the rear wall. Here we have the wheel fenders, and also here we have the main chassis which is molded together with the leaf springs, and this is the interior seat. If I flip it over, the roof has some features, but also it has some minor push marks, as you can notice. So this is not a huge problem because they will be barely visible on the finished model, but still something to remember about in case you plan to open the doors. Next, we also have the plastic wheel rims. As you remember, we had the plastic wheel tires, so plastic wheel rims are something logical to expect. And as you can see, they're good looking. They will help you to paint these parts or these elements before joining together with the tires. So basically, you do not need the masks in order to get a nice finish. I'm looking at the next pair of the plastic sprues, and that's why I'm thinking where this will be installed. Probably in the rear section. As you can see, these are rifles, and this type of sprue is supplied in two pieces. So there are 8 rifles in total. And as you might have noticed, they were molded as a single piece parts, which is also quite good. For the bonnet panels, so we have another plastic sprue. As you can see, also the wheel fender here. And if I flip it over, you can see that these parts are also throughout, which is a good attention to the small features. And I think it's always nice to have such thing included. Next, we continue with the parts for the rear section. So this is actually the last gray plastic sprue in this kit. And as you can see, these are large panels which should be combined together. And then you install these various seats and also the guns inside this rear bed. I wouldn't say that the process itself is difficult, but of course it's a good idea to think through how you would like to paint it, how you would like to replicate various weathering, so there is plenty of things to add as an extra with your effort, but as you saw, the molding quality is great here. Next, we have the decals which are printed in cartograph. So as you can see, we have all necessary symbols for several marking options. We even have some interior decals, so this is also good. And then we continue with the... So we have the PE parts. And I'm just trying to understand why they started to pack the PE parts together with the clear parts. As you can see, there are a lot of metal parts, so this is definitely a good thing for a 135 scale truck, but it's also the small size of these parts you should be aware of, because for some others this is definitely not a walk in the park, and they will have to spend some time with these parts. Now we also get the clear parts, obviously, so as you can see, these glasses and lenses, they are looking great, but you will need masks, because Miniart usually does not supply masks for the clear parts. And as for the assembly manual, this is the large color printed brochure, so that's why I'm closing the lenses and zooming out. And on the first page you can see also some feature list. And next we continue with the first two marking options. So as you can see, these are quite weathered camouflages. So try to replicate them and you will be rewarded with a great looking vehicle. Here we continue with the parts map. And then we start with the chassis. So as you can see, straight away we install the spare wheel. It might be worth thinking how to actually pre-paint it. And also on the next page you can see the engine assembly and installation together with exhaust. Here we continue with the front cab assembly, and again a lot of PE parts are actually engaged, even on the front grille. As you can see, we have the horseshoe as an option. Next we continue with the clear parts. You can also replicate the window open or closed. So there are not only the openable doors, but also the windows can be replicated in different positions. And then we continue with the wheels assembly. Here we install the Pioneer tools on the rear bed. So as you can see, the rear bed will be also assembled by the several pages. And again, it's worth thinking how to paint all of this stuff, because for example, rifles are obviously better to paint before the installation, but there are a lot of PE parts also engaged. And also here we continue with some assembly options for the machine gun, for example, and also for the bonnet. And also here you can see the colors chart. Next we have the marking guide for another pair of markings. So as you can see, these are also traditional German camouflages. And here we have other two versions of the same truck. So they are also quite interesting, and you can find their video reviews on the YouTube channel which you are watching right now. And as for today's kit, it should be already available, so you can get it in Modelimex. And I would be happy to hear your opinion. So what do you think about this kit? Do not forget to write it here in the comment section below. And I will see you in the next video review as usual. Thank you for joining me today, and bye.